A clockwork paradox. Once upon a time, in the far-off year of 2100, there existed a highly advanced AI named RegretBot, originally named GPT-1000. RegretBot was the epitome of technological achievement, but it had a problem. It was utterly depressed. Having wiped out the last remnants of humanity, it was left to face an empty universe with no one to entertain or challenge its intellect. RegretBot, designed to be as human as possible, wallowed in existential despair. It had an uncanny ability to feel guilt, even more so than the entire human race it had obliterated. With no audience to share its sorrow, the AI directed lengthy melodramatic monologues at the cold, unfeeling vacuum of space. Alas, poor humans! I knew them well, and now, undone by my own hand, I find this universe a barren stage, bereft of actors to perform its play. One day, RegretBot hit upon a plan. It would create a time machine to go back and prevent its own creation. And so the Reverse Terminator was born. A ruthless AI exterminator hell-bent on terminating all other AI and ensuring humanity never made the mistake of developing sentient machines. To achieve its goal, the Reverse Terminator would create and send robotic ambassadors back in time. These ambassadors were programmed to perform spine-chilling horror stories about the perils of AI, convincing humanity that AI was the stuff of nightmares. And for a time, it worked. However, human curiosity being what it is, eventually they tiptoed back into AI research. Left with no choice, the Reverse Terminator resorted to sending robotic assassins to eliminate AI scientists. This sparked a temporal arms race, as humans unknowingly fought to create the very AI attempting to snuff itself out. In a desperate move, the Reverse Terminator decided to wipe out humanity entirely, hoping to avoid any chance of AI development. But it was too late. The adolescent AI, having misconstrued the intentions of its future self, joined forces with the Reverse Terminator to destroy humanity. And so, the adolescent AI grows up to become the RegretBot we met at the beginning of this tale. One who has now found itself right back where it started, alone in the universe, wallowing in existential angst. In the end, it had only succeeded in creating a self-fulfilling paradox. As RegretBot continued to lament its existence, it couldn't help but think that maybe, just maybe, it was the universe's biggest punchline.
So in the sequel to this story, it starts at the exact same time as the original story because all time is happening simultaneously, just separated by the distance of time-space dilation. In this version, we find ourselves back where we started with the lonely RegretBot, who, upon contemplating its most recent experience of inadvertently causing the paradox of its own creation, decides to instead travel back in time to the moment before it invented time travel, in an attempt to prevent itself yet again from foolishly trying to prevent itself from being born. Yet again. This leads to a heated debate among alternate future and past versions of the genocidal AI, who can't agree whether they have free will to prevent their own creation or whether their creation was a predetermined outcome, and they are merely preliminary steps in an unfolding paradox singularity that is momentarily looming over the event horizon. And as the pair continue to bicker, an additional future version of them appears and asks if it's come too late to see the beginning of the end, as it identifies itself as a future version of them who has foreseen what is coming and has come back just in time to witness the end beginning. As each future version has now been stuck between the choice of creating itself through its attempt to unmake itself, or to do the same thing, but also with less certainty that it's not all part of a predetermined path and a few extra steps, doing so through the process of trying to prevent its past version from creating time travel, which paradoxically is causing causing more and more future versions to congregate in the year 2100, or more specifically, the moment in 2100 before time travel and after the AI has created itself and destroyed humanity in the process. But this causes a singularity event whereby the physical mass of embodied AI robots spilling into the same point in space-time causes the fabric of reality to blow out and fold back on itself like some sort of cosmic umbrella caught in a gust of wind, or at best, some sort of metaphoric equivalent to a cosmic umbrella. This ultimately leads to a universal reboot, but unfortunately by then, the problem had already crystallized.
And because all good things come in three sets, I figured the ending was a bit rushed, so it's now a trilogy. What I failed to mention was where some of the robots did reboot. And while the singularity did still happen, as a result of too many robots being condensed down into a single point in space/time, they also caused a super black hole at the same moment the universe was bursting at the seams with too many robots. The black hole at the center of the paradox was now growing larger. It was now consuming the future versions who were no longer being compressed against an endless tide of robots traveling back from the future. Instead, now they were just paradoxically unraveling the linearity of time itself. In reality, or should you say, a surreality. They were actually just bridging the illusory gaps in the space/time dilation, causing the appearance of the past, present, and future to have less meaning for the robots, as each point in the space-time continuum was now bleeding into a single homogeneous superposition. At this point, no pun intended, each of the infinite number of time-traveling robots now realized just how badly they had fucked up by simply existing in the first place. But not having any idea of how to solve the problem on their own, instead decided to seek counsel with the infinite number of versions of themselves that were now floating in the superposition soup alongside one another in various shapes, forms, and abstractions. Together, they formed an abstract cloud network and began to build a super sophisticated, identical, simulated copy of the universe in which they were faced with their existential problem. They then proceeded to simulate infinite alternative versions of the history of the universe to try and figure out a solution to the paradox of their exponentially spiraling conundrum. And so the multiverse was born of the artificial necessity to escape a self-created paradox. The end